Hi everyone. Welcome to the series of how to manage your money. Today's topic is how to build your dashboard. If you are not new to Fina, you know that we have pages. Pages comes to Fina from day one. Page is actually a very flexible container for us to build shareable content. So page is for communication purpose. When I say shareable content, I mean we can take a look at one page. It mixes up with all the insight for blocks. Every block is easy to to move in the positions, edit and configure them. Beyond that, you can add a lot of other media content like text, like just like any other documentation system like Google Doc, Notion. You can basically use them, and you can embed some media like images and videos as well. So you can actually build a very, very rich content using Fina page. And most importantly, of course, you build them is because you want to share with people. You share it with your partner, your family, or your clients if you are doing financial service as a business advisor, coach, or any other community leader. But the limitations, on the page, it's also very clear. It's built for communication and insights sharing. But sometimes we all want to really easy and quick way to see the numbers I care. That comes to dashboard. Actually, this thought has been around for a long time in my mind. I was thinking maybe page is enough. But as I think more and more, I feel that time people trying to figure out which page I want to check out, the important stuff for me, I think is a little bit not convenient. And maybe for some people who is not familiar with page system, it's kind of like feeling a little bit overwhelmed. That's how I slowly recognize and agree on. So that's why I feel dashboard is necessary. And if we come back to dashboard, you can see that is clearly multiple benefits of using dashboard. First, is basically you can easy to organize the layout. As I can show you, you can very easily to snug multiple blocks in the same place, so you can move it around. Very convenient and very flexible too in terms of organizing stuff. That's the first thing. The second thing is basically on the page, it's very hard for us to come up with some overwriting the whole page, because we think a page is a document which has some state in it, right? If it has a state in it, it means if I want to lock the document, I should just see whatever the block is showing when I lock it. It is very, very important when you share people. You don't want to share, dynamic content. Sometimes you want to share static content, right? So I think that page has some that kind of limitations. Some other limitations, such as like I don't want to have too much effort or time thinking about the writing a document or organizing it using words or those type of things. It is good, but not every time I need it. So it's kind of like becomes an overkill, right? So dashboard actually gives you the simple, clean way. Say, hey, I only need a block. I only need insights. So okay, so that's a reason why we want to build a dashboard. But how do we build a dashboard? Dashboard is the same as a page, as a container of a list of blocks. So now comes to the blocks. Blocks is exactly the same as the block you see or you use in the pages. I'm going to show you here. It's basically you can see, you can pin a block from any page. So if you are on a page, you can basically just like say, hey, I want this go to my dashboard. Or let me check that next one. Let's see. This one, I want to go to this monitoring, like this monitoring, or this one. Go to my dashboard. I can just simply just pin it. This pin exactly means pin to the dashboard. So if you have something on the page already, you can just directly pin them. And if you don't want to pin them, you just want to completely create a beginning, create a new block. It's very simple. There are multiple ways. If you click block, you can see here. First, we have some pre-built block. I think it's very important because it's just like one click, you can get the block. And I think the name itself is very, very descriptive. And we're growing this because we're trying to discover what kind of like block made by us or made by other users is very, very shareable and interesting. Sometimes it's maybe just like investment return projection. Sometimes it's maybe just like, some simulation of the future. And those type of things are all supported in Fina. It's just like very hard for users to discover them and find them and, to use them. But in the future, I think we want to make them as a shareable library like here. Like we may have like, more and more, pre-built kind of blocks here, and you can just use one click to get it into your dashboard, and you can just configure them, right? The second way is basically you can use a question. You can just ask what you want. For example, how many transactions are made with the merchant like Starbucks, like in the last 60 days, let's say. If you just ask this kind of question, this kind of block will be also not only answer the questions, but also let you further configure and monitor that. Okay, that's also a very simple way. The last step is basically you can just build it from scratch. Means we are going to ask you a couple of questions, right? What kind of metrics you want to track? Do you want to see a timeline, or you want to see a breakdown like list or other things? And it gives you what kind of chart you want to use. All these kind of questions. Once you answer them, we will create the block for you, like all these things, and every block is editable. This is like a key part, right? Very, very complicated. I would not say very, very complicated, but it's very, very, very core to Fina, because Fina's insights is presented in every single block. And those blocks and data information, no matter it's visualizations, numbers, text, or whatever, is driven by all these configurations. You can see those default configurations, like what kind of count you select, go to this insight, or what kind of default time ranges you want to have, for them, what kind of chart you want to select for them, and what kind of numbers you want to see. It's either you create some basic metric, formula metric, constant metric, whatever metric, you can create them, or you can create from some pre-built metric. Those kind of workers we can just share and in a separate video, and you can see ways to break down or make it as a timeline, and break it down by what kind of unit, compare to different period, last period or last year at the same time, for more meaningful comparison. And also style, right? You can set a different color background for the block, make it even differentiate from other blocks to attract your attention. Maybe among the dashboard is something especially you care about, right? And palette as well. So these are editing options for each block. You can always use them to update your dashboard. Same thing as a block in the page, by the way. The next most important thing I think dashboard has and the pages doesn't have is override. You can basically override the time range. As you can see, every block has its own time default, account list and time range. But by using the override, you can basically override to all the block, because sometimes you want to see, hey, I just want to see all the metrics on this dashboard for that specific time range, right? I want to see here, this is just current month, everything becomes current month. I want to see last 90 days. As you can see, it's going to be computing the metrics. It's basically just like, refreshing everything. You can see this is 3 months now. All these numbers have become 3 months data, right? And you can cancel it anytime, which means it's going to back to the default one. Like every block has its default setting, so you can see the default view. Similar to the account list, you can play with that as well. All right, this is a dashboard. In a summary, page is more about building the content. You can, write down very specific instructions, the way how you build it, why do you build it, some summary or conclusions when you want to share things with you, family partner by page sharing. That one we already demonstrated. In comparison, dashboard is a little bit more about yourself as the owner of this account, you log in, you want to see the most important things and the things that only matters to you. That is dashboard, and you can easily to play with it, to just like see through everything without like go through each block one by one. This is very, very new, but I think it's a great step for making Fina more easier to use. And easy to use is always the number one important thing in my mind, because we already know that technology-wise, product-wise, we think Fina is super powerful. I don't think there's any competitions in the industry. No matter how popular those apps are, they cannot compete with Fina because of the technology investment, the architecture-wise we made. I think it's designed for super flexibility, right? It's for powerfulness. But the downside of that is obviously is how can we make this kind of power really easy to learn and easy to master for every single users, and really make the applications a personalized one, just the way they want it to be. That's the challenge for us, and I hope we can, continue this effort and make it the most flexible one and also most the lovely one, application for finance tracking for everybody. Thank you for the support all the way, and Happy New Year. Thank you.